Yes.
I
Oh,
love
yes.
it.
Yeah, pumped up. He's pumped up. I'm pumped up. What is going on? It is your boy, President Fat Samurai Guy, hanging out in the movie Dojo podcast with the legend himself, award-winning stuntman, actor, writer, film director, action director. He's done it all. That's right, Master Art Camacho. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yay! Thank you
Now,
so much, brother. Like
yeah,
I said before, man, love your show. Love your show.
Why? Oh man, that means a lot. Thank you so much for saying that. Yes, and I gotta blow the legend up here. I mean, look at the duds. That's right. That's right. Styling and profiling, baby.
For the audience, man. Come on.
I love the background too. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, yeah. And I'm styling and profiling myself. That's right. I got
You
my
representing, man.
look
You're
at the hat. Look at the hat.
I
Look at the
love
hat.
it.
That's
I
right.
love
Yeah.
it.
Got to represent the
it.
Camacho experience, baby.
That's it,
Oh
bro.
yeah, we're
You
gonna.
know, this room, when I got this house, I needed a room just to kind of inspire me. And so I come in here and I put up a lot of my, inspirations and stuff like that, and just come in here just to kind of meditate.
Yeah. I mean, we all need rooms like that, we just unwind and meditate and or a room of inspiration or your typical man cave as well.
There you go.
We all need it. But we're going to talk about the Camacho experiment a little bit later. But thank you so much for being here. And also, thank you so much for sending me and autographing your book, my friend.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah,
Bro.
thank you. And this was a fantastic read. It is very inspirational, my friend. I mean, this is like really inspirational. Future filmmakers, I highly recommend you track this down. You can get it on Amazon. I put a link in the description box below this video, so you can go straight to it. Please buy a copy of this. It will inspire you. There's some great advice in here, and it's just a small glimpse, really, in your filmmaking journey. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can have volume 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you wanted. Yeah. Do you ever think about doing another volume?
Believe it or not, we're working on the second one because so much in life has happened that always brings me back to films, and inspiration and living the dream.
Yes, living the dream. Yes, those words are put together, so important. Living the dream. So make sure you guys check out and get this book. It is extremely inspiring and phenomenal. And it's chapter 1. And shout out to Michael Matsuda. Yeah,
yes.
Shout out. Yes, shout out to the legend there. The museum. Yeah, the museum is phenomenal.
Yes.
I've been to a couple of Dragon Fests.
Oh, nice.
I may have missed you. You never know. We may have
crossing each other.
You may have. But yeah, I'm planning on going to Dragon Fest if he still has it this year.
Yes.
Are you going this year?
Yes, I'm gonna definitely make it a point. As a matter of fact, I think he's doing a soft opening of the new museum in Glendale because we moved to Glendale, and so the space is probably about 8-9 times the size of the old one, and it's pretty exciting.
Oh, nice. Yeah, copy that. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can meet each other in person. That'd be great.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, for sure. We got some people watching right now. MKF30 certified channel member is back. That's right. Welcome back, becoming a channel member. I appreciate that, brother. And we got people from Canada watching right now.
Awesome. I love Canada.
It's good to see you, brother. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna lead up to Ruthless, and I'm gonna save my thoughts on the movie when we get up to it. We're gonna lead up to it. But just for the audience, I mean, I've read the book. I mean, you want to hear something insane?
What's that, brother?
Unfortunately, my my wife, she's feeling a lot better. Unfortunately, she had COVID for a week and a half, and then I had COVID right after a week and a half. So I was late on getting a chance to sit down and read this. Are you guys ready for this? Everybody watching right now, you ready for this, Art? When I got home from work this morning, I sat down and read the whole book.
Really? Oh my God!
I read punishment. I read the whole book. You know what that means, right? That means I just couldn't put it down.
Oh, wow.
Once I started, I was like, I have to keep going. Like this is so good. But yeah, there you go. Boom. Read it in one sitting. But yeah, let's go back in time a little bit for the audience watching and later listening on Spotify. let's talk a little bit about your journey with film. And Bruce Lee was a big part of that, and I couldn't believe what an amazing story when you saw Chinese Connection in theater. Can you talk a little bit about that for the audience?
Yeah, you know what? I was this fat kid, screw up in school, screw up in life, and going nowhere. And I started getting into these kind of martial arts films. And my family owned a restaurant. It wasn't successful, trust me. But one night, my father said, "Hey, you know what? I'll take you to this new movie, this new Chinese kung fu film." I said, "Great!" So me and my buddy, we're cleaning, sweeping, mopping, going so fast, cleaning up and because it's going to be on time, and we race to the theater, and we get there, and literally, you know how movies, they don't really start at the real time, they start like
Right.
20 minutes after. So we got there literally right as the movie was going to start, well, the commercials were going to start. And the young guy, and I say this, I talk about race because I really want to, I'll emphasize the purpose of it. But this young Caucasian guy, he was looking down at us, and my father said, "Hey, I want to take my kids to the theater here. How much? 3 people?" And the guy said the movie already started. This was again way back then in the 80s, and he said, "No, no, I'm sorry, I can't let you guys in. The movie started. It's our policy." And my father said, "You know what? My kids, they worked really hard. I'll pay you whatever. We just would love to see the movie." And it refused. And finally, after they were going back and forth, my father offered him more money. I don't remember. I think it was like double the price of the ticket. He goes,
Yeah,
"Here,
double, yeah.
double." And then the guy was, then he goes, "Okay." So he's taking all this because my father just said cash. And at that point, a Caucasian manager comes out, an older gentleman, and he comes out and he sees, again, 3 people and all this money being exchanged. And he asks the guy, he goes, "What's going on here?" And he goes, "Oh, well, they started late for the movie, and the policy, and so I'm going to charge them double." And he looked at him, and then he looked at my father. My father said, it's okay, we'll pay whatever. I want my sons, to see this. It's very
Yeah.
special. I get emotional even telling you right now because you
Yeah.
don't do that to kids. And so the gentleman, he looks at my father, he looks at his employee, and he takes the cash and he gives it back to him. He says, "Sir, you and your kids come in as my guest." So it's like, wow, wow. I was so blown away that the manager saw the compassion. And that's what I'm saying. We're human beings, man. We're human beings, brown, white, no matter what it is. But with this compassion and love in everyone, you know.
Yes.
So we go in there, and the chicken shit thing, excuse my language, is that there was only maybe, I don't know, 3, 4 people in the theater. There wasn't even that many people in the theater. So I go in there, I run in there, and I'm always trying to get the center seat, counting the seats, making sure I get the best
Yeah.
view. And I sit there, and that moment, I kid you not, brother, it changed my life. It changed my life. What I saw, I didn't even know Bruce Lee's name. It was the character Chen Wen, whatever, and,
Yes.
and it
Shenzhen,
just
yeah.
blew me away. And from that moment on, it sounds crazy, but every weekend they used to have like a flea market or swap meet, whatever you call them, and they used to have like 2 booths with Bruce Lee stuff. At that time, Bruce Lee was very hot, so posters and pictures. I wouldn't even eat lunch sometimes, save my lunch money and get my allowance to go buy my latest Bruce Lee thing and Bruce Lee this, Bruce Lee that. And then all the movies, other movies were being released. Enter the Dragon, they were re-releasing, Fist of Fury, and and at first, just like a lot of us, and I say this because I'm guilty of that too. We all want to be Bruce Lee at first. We always, wow, we're
Yeah.
good. He looked and I bought my kung fu suits and my nunchucks
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and so that eventually turned into from aspiring to be Bruce Lee to aspiring to use Bruce Lee's influence for me to be Art Camacho.
Yes.
It changed my whole life because I was bullied from a young age. As a matter of fact, that's why in the I think it was in the 9th, 10th grade, I got almost straight F's because I just was ditching school so much because every time I'd have to go to school, I'd have to pass this certain street where there was a bunch of guys that just beat the crap out of me. And so I was really, really in a bad space, bullied, broken home, obese. And I kid you not, I actually used to steal. I don't know if I mentioned that in the book, but we collected food stamps for a while. So I used to steal food stamps so I can go buy my grape soda and my Twinkies and just kind of screwed up physically, mentally, emotionally, in every which way. But Bruce Lee, that experience changed my life because it was almost like the perfect storm. Around that same time, I got jumped and I got beat up pretty bad. I mean, those five guys, gangbangers, came down, where you from, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
bottle in the head, beating me, to a pulp. And I tell you this because when people, I hear a lot of people that are bullied and they say, well, I turned to martial arts, then nobody bullied me again. That's not my life story.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not my life story. They beat me to a pulp. And I kid you not, because to this day, you always remember the smell of your own blood because the blood was just dripping down, and the warm, it's almost like molasses, and it's
Yeah.
just pouring down your face and your body, and looking down at my clothes. I had a white shirt on, just all bloodstained red, and those traumatic experiences. And it took me about 3 weeks to be able to leave my house. I was so traumatized. But then that fear, that trauma started turning into rage. And so I was blessed enough to eventually being able to channel that rage through martial arts training.
Yes.
And then the rest is history because I started training in martial arts, the Bruce Lee influence, martial arts, Bruce Lee influence. And then I started, little by little losing weight. And then slowly but gradually, I started, really getting my life together for the first time. And another major factor is the girls.
Yeah.
The girls. And I tell you, the first experience I had,
Girls.
a big inspiration, big inspiration. And I say that jokingly because it's true. It's true. Part of the reason I lost weight is because I wanted to, get a girlfriend, for Christ's sake,
Yeah. Yeah.
The first girl I asked to be my girlfriend, it was so funny because all the guys, they were egging me on. Come on, she likes you. Go ask her out. Go ask her out. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so, guys. I don't. And so they go ask her out. So then I go, okay, great. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So and this is in Tijuana, Mexico, and it was so funny because I go there. It was about kind of dusky, and we're sitting at her house and outside on the fence, brick fence, and I'm trying to make small talk. I'm like, yeah, nice moon, huh? Very awkwardly there, and I go, well, would you like to go? And before I can even finish, it's like, no, okay, no, what are you nuts? you know, and I can laugh about it now because my first instinct wasn't to be depressed. My first instinct was, phew,
Yeah.
I got it out.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh
had the
man.
courage to ask her out.
Yeah. Yeah. Copy that. Copy that. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not
No,
easy. It's not. It's not an easy thing.
no,
Um.
but I'm telling you, the Bruce Lee thing is the biggest thing because I became
Yeah.
so obsessed with Bruce Lee that I eventually met his family, Linda Lee, Brandon Lee many years ago. As a
As
matter of
brother too. You met his brother.
yes,
Yeah.
Robert Lee, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. As a
How
matter of
cool.
fact, his mother taught me how to use chopsticks, Grace Lee.
No, that's
And
awesome.
it was wonderful. I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, and even one day when his when Linda Lee was living out here in California in Rolling Hills Estates, I was doing volunteer work for this Bruce Lee museum, and the owner said, "Hey Art, I'm going to go see Linda. Would you like to come along?" I was like, "What are you nuts? Absolutely!" So we go to Bruce Lee's house or Bruce Linda Lee's house, right?
Wow.
And uh, and so they're having their talks, and I'm just sitting there in awe. I mean, I'm sitting here with Bruce Lee's wife, and then she served us tea, right, in Bruce Lee cups. Somebody had given Bruce Lee some cups from Italy, and they were
Yeah.
like from Way of the Dragon. So
Okay.
Dragon, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, Bruce Lee's house, drinking tea in Bruce Lee cups with Bruce Lee's wife. Whoa,
That's insane. How mind
being
blowing.
there,
But
real.
yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, he's still inspiring people today.
Oh yeah.
And I can't. I mean, when I was young, I saw Chinese Connection on television, and
Oh wow.
it blew me away.
Uh-huh.
But I can't even imagine how much more awesome of an experience seeing it on the big screen.
Oh yeah. Oh my
I
God.
mean, that must have been mind blowing. That I would have lost my mind. I would lost my mind seeing this as a child on the big screen. I would have went crazy.
My God, and it changed my whole life. It really did. And I mean, obviously, I have a lot of faith in the Lord now, but I got to tell you, the biggest inspirations that I always say is Bruce Lee and Jesus Christ.
Oh, there you go. There you
You know,
go. Yeah.
that's-
The comedian Joey Diaz is a huge Bruce Lee martial arts fan.
oh wow.
And his story was when he was young, he had the TV came on.
Hmm.
Somebody turned the TV on in his house, and he was there chilling with his family, and a Chinese Connection TV spot came on. And he didn't know who Bruce Lee was. He didn't know what that movie was, and he just saw Bruce Lee doing his thing, kicking ass, taking names, and he was just like, how does this exist? Like, he's like, I have to see this. And he ran and saw it in theater too, and he's a huge fan. But he is the man, continuing to inspire people even today.
Yeah.
And look at this handsome guy right here.
Oh, Kung Fu
Look,
Mania.
look at this handsome guy here. Yeah, and then like you were saying earlier, your martial arts journey began, and
Yeah.
you evolved into Art
Yeah.
Camacho. That's
You
right.
know,
And you
because
learned from Eric Lee, the Kata King. How
absolutely,
cool is
Eric.
that?
I mean, he was. I'd seen him on covers of Black Belt and all these magazines throughout, and it just so happened that again, the Bruce Lee Museum I was volunteering at, they were going to do a seminar with him, and I went, and that was it. From I think it was early 80s, 80, 81, 82, that I've been with him since. I've cross trained in different martial arts, but I always say that's my core. That's my main, core is one hop window with Sifu Eric Lee.
Yeah,
Because I think you have to have something. You have to have we all cross train, but I think we all have to have a foundation.
yes, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I ran into him at a convention.
Oh
I
wow.
had to take a picture with him real quick. I should have grabbed it, but it's okay. But yeah, I watched his movie Ninja Busters, which came on Blu-ray several years ago. That movie is hilarious. It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun. Check it out. Gerald
yeah,
Okamura. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, Gerald. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and speaking of Gerald, how was it directing him in The Power Within?
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, that was an amazing, amazing experience with him because I purposely fought for him. They had a lot of Chinese actors, name actors they wanted to use, and I said, I want Gerald. I want Gerald. And number one, I love him to death. The sweetest human being one of the sweetest people I've ever met. But he really, really, it was really good. It was really good working with him. Great guy. And the thing I've noticed, and I'm sure it comes across, is that some of the top masters that I consider master, whether it's Guru Inosanto, Grandmaster Samuel Kwok, Sifu Eric Lee, all these guys, when you see them, the real true masters that I consider masters are so humble, so down to earth,
Yeah.
and so just, they're not full of themselves. They've transcended the ego in that regard.
Yes,
And
yes. I've experienced that too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
like
yeah, that's awesome that you had to fight and got him in the movie. How cool is that? Gerald Okamura is hilarious. He is hilarious. I spoke to him. I think I was at Dragon Fest a
right.
couple of times, and he's so funny. His sense of humor is amazing. But
Oh God, yeah, him,
uh,
and Don Wilson, from if you look at the record of Don Wilson's kickboxing record, it's like you're thinking this guy's 72 fights, 69 win, blah 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 blah. He's a killer
Yeah.
kickboxer,
right.
and the goofiest guy you could ever. Nice guy, I love him,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I had him on the channel last year, but there was some other special guests, Alan DeLaBie and stuff. But Don was having some technical difficulties, so we lost him. We had him for like 5 minutes, and then we lost him. But he's coming back. Don's coming back.
But that is done. That is done, man.
Yeah.
He's worse than I am when it comes to this.
Technology. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah. Shout out to Eric Lee and Don, of course. And speaking of Don, boom, Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire, man.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed this one. Was this the first time you were in a project with Gary Daniels as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think Ring of Fire was the first. I had started my career in believe it or not, in a forgettable film called Chinatown Connection as an actor, one of the lead actors in the film.
Boom.
And, man, there you go. Bruce Lee Majors.
Samurai Guy's always ready.
Oh, man, look at you, man. Look at you. So that was the first film. And then I couldn't get myself arrested. I thought, here's the thing, guys. And I tell you this, everybody wants to be into films. They think, okay, I got my break. I'm co-starring with Bruce Lee Majors. This is it. I made it. I'm there. Are you kidding me? I couldn't get myself arrested after that, man. I'm working fast food. I'm working whatever, after starting this film. And my Sifu, Eric Lee, called me up out of the blue, and one day, and he goes, "Hey, I want to get your butt kicked for $50." I'm there, Sifu. I'm there. $50. Come on, I'm there.
Ooh, you got special effects going on in the background there.
Yeah, I don't know how that goes. That's cool. That's the Camacho effect.
I love it. The Camacho effect. He's so excited to be in this movie. Look at that. Fireworks showed up. Look at that. It's awesome.
I got to tell you, man. But
how was your experience filming this?
Real Fire was so fun because I was always a kid. I didn't have no formal experience in fight choreography or fight stuff. I just did it all my life as a kid. And so I get to the film and we do this scene and we're just having fun. It's a big, in Chinatown, big multi-opponent scene, and everybody's beating up everybody. And this one technique, I'll be very brief, but this guy's supposed to kick me in the chest. I go flying back, I get knocked out. So take one, boom, kicks me hard. He's kicking hard. He's a kickboxer and he's not pulling back. So he's knocking the wind out of me. But again, it's my first one. I'm not going to complain. I don't care. I'm young. I can take it. Take two. The kick comes a little higher. Boom, I get hit, flying back, land, cut. Okay, get up. And then by this time, it started to hurt a little bit, So I thought, okay. So I started timing it. So I said, you know what? He kicks me at so much distance. So what I'm going to do is get so light on my feet. So literally, he can literally kick me and I'll go flying and nothing's going to, it's not going to hurt. And so take three comes in there on my throat. So literally this side kick on my throat. But again, because I had timed it so well, I just felt the impact, when you feel this.
Yeah.
And I go flying back, really, really flying back. And I'm limp. And then nobody's yelling cut. So I thought, oh my God, I screwed it up. My first film, I'm going to be fired because I said maybe I didn't time it right with the kick, whatever. So much going through your head, right? Eyes are closed. I'm lying down there. And after it seemed like forever, but it must have been just a couple minutes, I said, screw it. I'm just going to take my lumps and go home. I opened my eyes and then all these people are standing around me. They thought I was dead,
Oh my goodness.
They saw the guy kick me on the throat, go back, land hard on cement. They thought I was really out. And I look up at them and they're looking up at me in shock. They go, "Hey, are you okay?" I go, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm apologizing to them. And they go, "You got kicked in the throat. Why are you apologizing?" I said, well, it was my fault. I must have screwed it up. They go, no, come on. And they got up. They were like so relieved that I didn't get hurt or dead.
Oh, man.
As we're leaving the set, I hear the producer, the producer and the director talking, and they're talking to Eric Lee. They go, hey, Eric, we got another scene coming up in a couple of weeks. Why don't you bring that little Mexican guy? He doesn't complain. He works cheap. That's me.
There you go. The Camacho effect is back, baby.
That's it.
From now on, moving forward, we're going to call you Art Iron Neck Camacho. Oh man, but yeah, this must have been an amazing experience just to be those guys. And then you ended up doing several more projects with Gary Daniels.
Yeah.
And man, the stunt work in Recoil and some of the other projects is really phenomenal, man.
Well, Recoil, I tell you, the Recoil, a lot of it, most of it goes to Spiro Rosato, I think his name is. He's the one that does all the Fast and Furious now. That guy was phenomenal. That guy was him and Gary. I was more of a traffic cop, just kind of in. But those guys just kicked butt. But to give you an idea, I mean, when we did there was a scene in the bank. We started off the movie shooting inside the bank, outside shootout explosions. That scene, it took us like 3 or 4 days to shoot. 3 days, I think, to shoot. But it was the most challenging because I had 2 sets. I had one set outside, one set inside. And again, there's an assistant director who kind of runs the show, and he's the one that kind of coordinates everything. And up to this point, the assistant director had been very abusive with people, and I had talked to him a couple of times. Said, "Hey, come on, just chill. You don't have to yell, you don't have to cuss at these people. Just take it easy." And that day when we're shooting big stunts, I mean, I'm shooting people inside, going out the window. I'm shooting a car exploding behind cops, and we got into this big argument. And he says, "You keep talking to me like that, Art Camacho, and I'm going to walk, and I'm going to take my assistant with me." So I said, F you, F your assistant, give me the walkie. And I just ran him off the set, and I took over the walkie. So here I am, Art Camacho. I'm calling the cops. Okay, stop the traffic here. Okay, run inside the bank, shoot him up, and action. Boom, boom, boom. Scene. Okay, cut. Change this, change that. Put the camera here. Then I run outside, put the explosions on the car, blowing up cars, going inside. It was nuts. It was nuts, man. You know.
But you took control. You had to take control.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. When I mean, and I say this, and it's one of my sayings that in general in my life experience, I've never been the first choice, but I've been the best choice.
Nice.
Never been the first one to say, "Hey, let's get Art Camacho." It's like, "Oh shit, let's get Art Camacho."
Yeah, you know, and you know, you started off as an extra and stuff, and you learned as you on the go. You
Absolutely.
absorbed everything like a sponge. You know, let me see how that works. Let me see how this works, and then you know started doing your directing thing, and you know, sky's the limit, and you're still doing it today, man. And you know the Movie Dojo Army, you know, our followers here, we're very proud of you and we support you. Yes. We have a question here from chat here. Well, hold on. We got another martial arts legend watching right now, Chucky Curry.
Chuck,
yeah,
the man, the myth.
Yeah,
Chucky.
Congratulations, Art Camacho. Great being longtime friend. Keep up the great work. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Yeah. And I'm going to have Chucky on the show at some point in the future. Yes. Yes.
Great martial artist.
Yes. Two questions really quick here, and then we'll keep it rocking and rolling here from chat. He goes, "Hey, Art, what's it like working with Sasha Mitchell from the Kickboxer sequels?"
Sasha is one of the sweetest guys and most humble guys that I've worked with ever. I mean, he was like, you know, I worked with him on Gangland, and he would always say, what would you like me to do, Art? I said, well, Sasha, you know, do your thing. What's your best techniques? Do your thing. I don't want you to be me. I want you to do your thing.
Yeah.
And he was so humble. He goes, no, Art, I want to do what you'd like me to do. And it was just that kind of thing, the humility, the level of humility. And he throws these phenomenal kicks, and he goes, and he'd come to me, is that okay, Art? I can do it better. I go, that's phenomenal. I'm like looking at this stuff, my God. In my dreams, I couldn't do, you know, half of what he could do. But just the sweetest human being that I love him to death. I love him.
Copy that. He's like huge now, and he's like a brick. he's like a beast now.
I mean, he was always big, but just very lean. Now he's just
yeah, for sure. How about working with Mark Dacascos in the bass? And also working with Commando director Mark L. Lester. How was it on that working with that project?
Yeah, you know what? It was good with Mark. I didn't really have any scenes with him, but it was a fun experience. And I worked with Mark many years ago in Ninja Academy. Academy. Another forgettable film.
Gerald Okamura.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mark was sweet. Talented. The guy, you know, here's the thing about Mark is, you know, obviously, you know, Sifu Al is the founder of One Up Kwendo. But the thing about Mark, he's such a talented, and not only is he a good actor, he's a good gymnast, great martial artist. I mean, the guy's got so much talent. It's just oozing out of his ears, you know?
Yeah.
And very humble, very sweet, always respectful of everybody.
Legend, yeah. And he killed it in John Wick Chapter 3, man. He was so good. Yeah, that's another guy I'm trying to get a hold of and get him on the channel so we could talk here in the dojo for sure in the future.
Nice.
But speaking of, let's go ahead and segue here. Going back to The Power Within, you had William Zabka, Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid in this one. But speaking of the Cobra Kai, let's keep it Cobra Kai here. You worked with Martin Cove.
Martin Cove.
On several projects as well.
My brother from another.
I miss art. I miss posters like this. These posters, these kind of posters are like, was what made me go into the video store and go, ooh, I want to see that. Grab it off the shelf, run to the counter and pay for it. I really miss. I mean, I've always said, like, you know, a lot of modern day posters nowadays, especially for the big budget AAA movies,
right?
They're so generic and so forgettable. But this takes me back. You know, posters like this takes me back. And I actually had a chance to interview Michael Worth on the channel last year. Yeah, it was cool chatting with him. He's a lot of fun. But yeah, how was it working with Martin Cove here?
Well, Martin, I tell you, man, he was number one. He was amazing, amazing. And this was, I think, to be the best was I think the first time I worked with him. But I've done like 3 or 4 films with him. But the last film, no, let me go back. Final Payback. It was a film that I wrote, produced, directed, the whole 9 yards. And we brought him to the table, and this guy just was so amazing, amazing guy. Look at you! Oh my God, you're the man! You're the man! It was an amazing experience because he was so into the role, and it was we were tight budget and stuff like that. That he brought a box of a lot of his own personal things that he wanted in his space and basically in his house, in the character's house. So
Yeah.
he really identified with the character and really brought a lot of his own stuff in there. And he would just rewrite it and rework it to where because to me, as long as we're not shooting the Bible, I really welcome all my actors to bring their own to work on the dialogue, change it, whatever, as long as it works and we're all in sync. And that's what he did. He just rewrote these scenes and made them so much richer. And apart
Nice.
from his performance, my God, I can't tell you that's what I'm saying. This is a true blessing for me to work with people like Martin, who are just so amazing, and so I'm so happy to see him back up there where he belongs.
He just kills it as Kreese. Kills it. He doesn't even have to say anything. He just walks into the dojo, and you're just like, oh crap, it's about to go down, man.
Yeah.
But yes, that's right. Steel Justice himself.
Oh
Give
God,
him the Steel Justice shout out. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Still, believe it or not, that's a very historical film for me because literally, I was an extra on Steel Justice, and I had lost touch bases. I had lost contact with my Seafarer Lee, and he was on the stunt team. And so I go to the set, and I'm here. I'm a lowly extra, and he's with the stunt guys. And he goes, "Oh, what are you doing over there?" I go, "Oh, Sifu." And we reconnected, and that just, my God, we've been together since.
wow, look at that.
Justice.
Small world,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But also in Final, what is it? Final
Payback.
Payback. Yes,
Yeah.
I almost said paycheck. I'm thinking of John Woo right
It
now.
pretty much was.
Anyway, you had another legend in here. Yes, Mr. John Saxon. Yeah,
Oh,
John Saxon. Roper, man. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. How cool was it to work with
Oh,
Roper?
what do you mean, how cool? I mean, from day one, I brought posters and pictures, locked him in a trailer. Here,
You're signing all of this right now. Yes.
you're on my payroll, so you're working.
That's
He,
awesome. That's awesome.
he was,
And yeah, and Chinese Connection, that was your first Bruce Lee experience. But
yes.
Enter the Dragon, I believe you said in the book, is your personal favorite Bruce Lee movie, I believe.
Yes.
And it's a classic, such a classic.
Oh my God! And Bruce Lee, I mean, he has 8 lines in the whole movie. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But again, you see and I stopped counting, to be honest with you. Probably about viewing of 67, 68. I mean, I've seen that film at least 150, 200 times in the theaters every time it comes out, and revivals and everywhere,
Yeah.
drive-ins everywhere. And Enter the Dragon. And then to work with John Saxon, it's like, come on, it was an amazing. Number one, he was a very nice guy, very professional. He wasn't as friendly, chummy. We didn't get along that way like I do with a lot of the actors, but we were really good. We were really good, and I loved him to death. And then afterwards, he was so kind that he sent me a care package. All these pictures of him and Bruce and all kinds of fun stuff, and autographed them all. He was just such a sweet guy.
That's amazing. Yeah. Do you have that on your wall too? And yeah, you got to have that on the wall.
Those I have literally. This is my kind of movie, wall, and then my office has my Bruce Lee wall, all my autographs, lobby cards. I just ooze inspiration. I have to be always inspired. On myself with that,
That's what it's all about, man. Yeah. And you've worked with some other martial arts legends here. Let's start with Jeff Wincott here. How was it working with Jeff?
Jeff, great guy. Really, this guy who's, he's not like a trained black belt martial arts guy, but he's very good and very, open to doing stuff, and very, it was great. I can't, with him, I like these other guys, and I'm not bullshitting you, I would tell you, I'd say no comment if I,
Gotcha.
But no, Jeff was great guy.
Yeah.
Loved working with him on Deadly Bet, man.
Copy that. Yeah. And the Dolphinator.
Oh my
How was
God.
it work? How was it working with Dolph Drago here?
Here's my experience with Dolph. They hired me because they were doing reshoots on this one film, on that film that Triggered. They shot it in Mexico, then they went to Utah to do the reshoots, and they hired me to do the action, of course. And the producer, director, they called me up. They go, Art, don't take it personal. We don't want you to get offended, but Dolph changes a lot of things. He always puts his personal stamp, and some people don't like that he changes their choreography. I said, guys, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, number one, and number two. You know what? I'm not getting paid by the punch or the kick.
Yeah.
So, so every for days I choreographed it. But what happened is I go from L.A. They flew us into Vegas. Then from Vegas they rented us a car to go an hour into Utah, and they put me along with the two stunt guys that were doubling for some of the actors there. So on that way down there, here's a lesson for filmmakers and for people in general. On that hour drive that I'm driving with this guy was worked with Dolph for 10 years. He doubles him for a lot of the stuff, and he works with him. And so on the way down there, instead of making small talk, I kept picking his brain. Hey, what is Dolph like? What is Dolph like? Does he like to kick, like to punch? And in that hour, I got so much knowledge about Dolph Lundgren. So by the time I choreographed everything that Dolph likes to do.
Perfect.
So here's the thing. The After I choreographed it again, the director, very sweet guy, Scott, told me, Art, don't take it personal. Dolph's probably going to change everything, and so don't be upset. I said, no, brother, I'm blessed to be here. So then I get the call. Dolph wants to have dinner with you tonight, and he wants you to bring, because I videotaped it on my phone, to bring the fight and show it to him. So okay, great. So I went with my mind thinking, you know what? If they keep one punch, I don't care. I just want Dolph to look good,
Yeah.
So then we go down there, and it's not only Dolph, it's his assistant, it's the producer, it's the director, and they're all sitting there. And now I'm getting nervous. So he sees it. Art, can you show me this thing? So I'm sitting there in my little phone, right? And then 5 guys trying to look at the phone, and Dolph's looking at it, and they're looking at it, and they're like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, here's where we can add a line. And they didn't change one thing. Did not change one.
Hey.
Not one
Nice.
thing. But the only question that they had was, okay, Art, how are you going to cover this? How many shots are you going to do it in? And I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I have like 7 shots to cover this whole fight. Camera here, camera there. So I started doing the breakdown because I was pretty prepared. That was it. And he loved it. And he goes, Art, why haven't we worked together before? I go,
That's
but it's
cool.
funny. It was a wonderful experience. He was very professional, very good at what he did, and it's Dolph Lundgren. I mean, I'm a kid in a candy store,
Yeah. And IMDb had you down for stunts for As Good as Dead.
Oh yeah.
Now this is probably Michael Jai White's best movie in a while. This reminded. I mean, I enjoyed The Island. The Island was a fun like crime thriller. I enjoyed that, but this was like, it just reminded people, oh yeah, Michael Jai White can be a badass in movies. Like it was like, do you remember Michael Jai White? This was a reminder, like, oh yeah, he's so good in that. How was it being a part of that project?
It was great because Michael pretty much he was kind of co-directing it every step of the way. See, and what they did, they had the choreography kind of set from this guy and Michael Kwok put together this kind of style that White wanted.
This.
Yeah. That's funny. It looked pretty cool. And so basically he put down the skeleton and then I worked around it and just kind of, added a little bit more pieces. But the choreography, 90% was Michael Kwok, who's really good.
Yeah, he's great.
And then I hired and trained. And here's the thing, whenever I've gone to Mexico, I literally from scratch, you're talking about walking into a dojo and training 20 people to be camera ready within, 6 hours.
Wow.
And we did. We went over there and not for this one, but for a couple of previous films. So I had a little bit of a Mexican team over there, and so we just went in there and gave Michael what he wanted, and Michael was great. He's very specific. He's very knowledgeable. Of course, but both in front camera, behind the camera. I mean, it was again one of the best experiences I've had, because Michael specifically wanted me to coordinate. You know, they had other people in mind, the producers, and then Michael said, no, I want art. And so I was very, very fortunate and blessed, and it was a great experience working. And again, even still, at this old age, I'm still learning. I always learn. I always have an
Right.
open mind to learn from different people.
Yeah, we never stop learning, right?
Right.
But that's awesome. That's how cool is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever you run into Michael again, Art, please tell him that we need 5 more Blood and Bone movies. Blood and Bone, that character should have been a TV series. There should have been like 10 sequels, of Blood and Bone. But yeah,
And his wonderful wife, are she's such a sweet person, beautiful inside and out.
yeah, they're the power couple. That's
Yeah.
what I call them for sure. Yeah. How was it working with Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal. Again, I hear all these horror stories, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's heard them. Steven's this, Steven's that, Steven's everything.
Right.
And I had met him a couple of times socially. So when they offered me the film, at first, when I met with the director wanted like they had talked to Donnie Yen, and they wanted that kind of Hong Kong feel to it. And I said, I've done some of it, but I'm not the right guy. I'm not the right guy.
That's not your style anyway.
No, I love the salad, but I just
with wire work and all that stuff. Yeah.
And so again, we had our meeting with the director, and nice meeting you. A couple weeks later, they go, Art, we want to hire you. I go, what do you mean? We're going to bring in this guy, Yin Yang from Hong Kong, who doubled for Jet Li, and
he's so good.
In Hong Kong, yeah. And we want you to work with him, and we also have a stunt coordinator from Germany. So we have a team, but we want you to kind of oversee the whole thing, the whole action unit. And I said, but guys, you have Yin Yang, who's a legend. You have this guy who's done all these major ass films out there. What am I going to do? Serve their coffee? You don't need me. And I'm serious. I'm talking myself out of a job.
Yeah, right.
So finally, they go, no, Art, we really want you. The producers at Sony really want you. And so they made me an offer I couldn't turn down, and I took the job. And my first experience with Steven Seagal was I see him on the street. It's like in Germany. It's like, hey, I don't call him Steven. I call him Sensei, because I have a lot of respect for him as a martial artist.
Yeah.
So I go over there, and I don't give a shit. I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. So all of a sudden, I run across the street. I go to hug him. His bodyguards are right there. They're ready to pull out a gun.
Oh my goodness!
It was crazy. Yeah. I thought I was like this nutty guy from from Germany, and no, with him, it was a very good experience with me. I really had a good time with him, because honestly, I was just like I told when I choreographed some of the stuff with him, I just said, Sensei, I need a hand technique that sends the body in this direction. So he would go, okay, how about this, or how about that? I go, yeah, that's a good one. And that's the way I worked with him. He would give me the techniques. I would just tell him kind of the direction I wanted the bodies to fly, and pretty much it. And he respected me a lot, and I had a lot of respect for him. Nice. I didn't have one issue with him personally. I really didn't. I know.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Copy that. And I always tell people, it's all about that first 5. That first 5 is still legit. Those first 5 films of his, still legit. And if you want to have some fun, you can throw in Under Siege 2, Electric. It's still fun, man. It's still fun.
Right. But those first 5, you're right. Those were amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got to tell you again, brother, to me, everyone you've mentioned, I mean, to a certain degree, I grew up with watching them, and on DVDs or in the theaters.
Yeah,
so I'm a kid in a candy store. Even to this day, I came off working with Tyrese and Harvey Keitel. It's like, my God, Mina Safari. It's like, wow, I'll look at my
Cynthia Rothrock. You've worked with so many. Yeah. So many.
The only negative thing I'll say about Dom, and I got to say this. I got to put it out about Dom.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. I've done 25 films with Don Wilson.
Yes.
So we started on, I forget which film, but I hate that I get these massive laugh lines right here, because we're always laughing. Excuse my language, we're always laughing. I mean, we're having such a good time. I mean, I kid you not, I get these big ass wrinkles right here. So I'm doing this kind of, it's like treatment, trying to,
Don, stop being so funny. You're getting everybody laugh wrinkles. You're getting everybody laugh wrinkles. And don't worry about cursing. We curse here all the time. It's all good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I tell you, I swear to you, man, it's like, we work hard, we get serious, but afterwards we're
Yeah.
laughing and kidding and joking, and this guy has stories, to the end of time, and just
How much fun.
genuinely nice guy.
That's awesome to hear for sure. But man, I'm gonna switch the flip here. I think I said that wrong, but Banshee.
Oh yeah, that was
Uh-oh.
it was again it was just a fun gig. A friend of mine called me up. I started his career. This guy Marcus Young. And when I say I start people's career, I don't say I gave him a job. I literally took him from a dojo. I trained him, and I put him in, I don't know, 10, 12 films, and then he started moving on his own, and he started doing big films, and then they forget about you. but
Yeah.
but he called me for Banshee, and that was just a 1 or 2 day gig, but it was an amazing experience because I love that show, man.
That
It was
show's so
amazing.
good. If you guys have not seen Banshee, please watch it right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, especially if
huge.
you're a fan of The Boys. I mean, come
Yeah,
on. Come on.
yeah,
If you like The Boys, Homelander, he's the lead actor, and the actor that plays Homelander, he's the lead actor.
yeah. It's an amazing show. And here's the thing too, is that when you hear anybody complaining about wages, stuff like that, when you're doing these union gigs, man, oh man, that's more money than you'll see in any regular job. Trust me on that.
Wow.
Because they
Copy
get so,
that.
when I do those stunt gigs, I mean, you get good money. You get good money, and I'm just grateful for anything.
Yeah.
But
But it
but
was
I'm
it was cool to see your name a part of it in terms of the
oh
stunt
yeah,
work, a part of this project. I was like, "Oh, right.
it was
Banshee."
fun. It was cool,
Yeah.
that one, and then this other one, Jesus Christ, it'll come to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, some of these
Yeah.
some of these beautiful ones, when I get every now and then they hire me to go play with them. It's fun. It's so fun,
Copy that. I saw this, trailer for this project right here, Wild League.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about this? Based on a true story here, there he is, that's right, Highlander himself, Adrian Paul, tell us about this project.
The way again, brother, the way life is, God, whatever you call this source in your life, I don't care what you call it, but there's something that's guiding you and bringing you to things. And I was supposed to do this film in the Philippines. This is Alexander Nevsky, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was going to hire me to do this film. They were going to shoot in the Philippines, an action film, and it fell through. So then a couple months later, he goes, Art, I got another film. I said, no problem. He says, but it's not an action film. I go, even better, because I really love the dramatic scenes. I love to direct.
Yeah.
And so I met with this producer from Russia, and he gave me this script that was so thick. I mean, it was a 200-page script. And I read it, and it was epic. Oh my God, I fell in love with it from the first 5 pages. And I was really, to be honest with you, I was trying to hold my giddiness, but I was like, okay, yeah, I'll direct it. But inside, it's like, please, 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 I want to direct it because it's such a good movie, good story. The only thing was that they said, well, it's going to be all in Russian. Okay,
Okay.
okay, well, we'll have translators there for you, and it's going to be shot in Russia. So I think, wow.
Wow.
So here you are. I mean, literally within, I think it was like 3, 4 weeks after that meeting, I'm on a plane to Russia, and and I got to tell you, man, it was at first. I again, my ignorance of the world of the different countries. I thought they're gonna hate me. I'm damn Mexican going down there, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I get there, and there was so much love, so much love.
Nice.
Sadly, with all the politics that's going on, but the Russian people are, my God, they're to me, they're like damn Mexicans, man. They're such big hearts, and really open their hearts to me. You know, it was an amazing. It was set in 1910, and it was about the introduction of soccer. The English brought soccer to Russia, and so there was a love story wrapped around all that stuff. But working with some of these amazing Russian actors, they were some of the top actors in Russia at the time. And I kid you not, I would be sitting there. I'm looking at the monitor. I have the Russian script here, the English script here, and a translator right to either side of me.
Yeah.
And so after about the third or fourth day, I can almost understand what they're saying just by their
Wow.
emotions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I see where we are in the script. And it was just amazing. It came out pretty good. I think the only problem that I saw with the film was that it was like 20 minutes too long because I think some of the subplots that they kept in there could have shortened it up. But it's a
Yeah.
really good film. I really am proud of that movie.
Nice. Can we watch this on Amazon Prime or is there any other streaming services?
That one I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, I'll have to look it up, and I'll let people know to check it out for sure if we can find it.
Wonderful.
But yeah, how cool! It's on the list now. It's on the list.
Wow.
Yes. And speaking of Alexander, boom, gunfight at Rio Bravo. Yeah, and there's so many other legends in this movie. You got Matthias Hughes in this.
Yeah.
How was it being in a part of a Western there?
It was a dream come true. Kid in a candy store to the nth degree. I've always wanted to do a Western, always, and still to this day, I'm trying to find somebody to fund some Westerns for me. But that was amazing. And the funny thing was that Alexander took me down. He says, Art, I'm working with Joe Cornell, which is a good director. Joe's directed some of these smaller Western films. But he says, I want to give it a different look, a whole different feel to it. So he took me down there, and I told him, well, again, I'm not, I'm going to do my thing. It's a Western, and all respect to everybody there. I do respect everybody, but I'm going to do the Art Camacho thing. It's a small film. I said, you know what? So let's just have fun.
Yeah.
And so what I did, I just went to town, and believe it or not, there was one sequence in the film where he goes almost through a gauntlet. He goes halfway through the town. He's doing the Clint Eastwood thing. He's taking people apart.
Yeah.
And so I said, how do I make it different? And I'm thinking, and all of a sudden, and as I'm thinking, sometimes I'm going through moves in my head. I'm moving around in my head, trying to visualize. And so what I did, I put together a kata. Literally a kata where you strike, you punch, you do double strike here. And so that's what I said. Now replace the punches and put the gun in your hand.
Yeah.
Boy, moving, turning, turning up here, this way,
Yeah.
It's just
gun kata.
it was funner than fun, man. To see him go through all these people, go and then mow these people, and the timing, and the people in Arizona who shot in Arizona, brother, some of the funnest people, these cowboys up there, they're these reenactors, and that's what they do. So a lot of them were just, I mean, I helped them a little bit on the stunts and the falls, but
yeah,
90% of it, I mean, these guys were showing me all kinds of cool stuff. But
that's amazing.
That's what I did. A gun kata with Alexander. And I had told Alexander, because I've seen his films, and I said, Alexander, this is going to be the best action you personally have done in any of your films, no matter big or small. I promise you that. And it was, to this day. If you ever see the film's okay. I mean, it's like but the action is pretty cool.
Nice, worth watching at least for the action. Copy that.
Yeah,
I saw that there's a sequel might be coming there.
Oh yeah, we shot the sequel. The sequel.
Oh, okay. So it is coming. All right. Yeah. Nice.
Or Escape from Nearby. I forgot the name of the sequel, but that one, he said, Art, I want you to be in this one. I go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Comanchero, I'm there. So I grew my beard out, and I had so much fun. So again,
I'm excited for the sequel.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in the sequel.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for sure.
Yes.
This was a post-apocalyptic Western in a way, Steel Frontier, and there's some really great stunts and action in this one. This was really good. I was not expecting this movie to be that good.
No, PM, I tell you, PM Entertainment, Joseph Murphy. I mean, without Joseph Murphy, there is no Art Camacho. They literally gave me a career. I'm telling you, I to this day, the producer Joseph Murphy, to this day, we still talk. I mean, 30 years later, we're still friends. I love him like to death. He's the one that gave me my SAG card, my first fight choreography gig, my first directing gig. I mean, and kept me employed. Kept me employed for several years. Whenever they had generic stunts or anything else. Art, you doing anything? Come on down. Come play with us. And Steel Justice was one of those films that we just worked a few days on it, but it was just so fun. So fun. I used to do a lot of these random gigs that they were just, they were just fun. You know what I'm saying? Even, I would do it for free if I could afford to, because it's so fun. I'm just so blessed,
Yeah. Well, shout out to Joseph.
God,
we salute Joseph.
Yes.
But you know what? He saw something special in you,
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And several awards you've won as well. And this project right here, you won at the Urban Action Showcase. I mean, how cool is that?
that was my bro, Tom Renner, and amazing. Tom, shout out to him, because he's the one that just, he is, if anybody, he's gone through a lot of health issues recently, but he is a true warrior. When I say, I mean, this guy is a human being. As a human being, I love him to death, and as a martial artist, I respect him. But he put together this fun film, and I went over there and New York in a few days, and we just had some fun. It was a fun comedy about these two priests, and he's this martial arts master, and they run into this mayhem. Funny stuff.
I'm sold. I'm sold already.
I gotta tell you, man, it's just fun stuff. I really,
Did you go last year to the Urban Action Showcase Expo?
pardon? No, no. Unfortunately, I've been so tied up the last few years during that period of time.
Demetrius Angelo premiered Into the Dragon to celebrate the anniversary at Times Square. In Times Square.
Yo, I wanted to be there so bad.
Guess what he's doing this year? He's doing The Last Dragon in Times
Oh,
Square.
wow. That's so cool.
How fun is that, right?
Really cool. Really cool. Because, I met, and he seems like a pretty cool dude. Gosh. And I'm sorry because I forget his name, but the Last Dragon, the guy, the star.
Oh, yeah. Ty Mack.
Ty Mack.
Yeah.
Ty Mack, great guy. And he still looks good. I don't know what he does, man. He probably does double tequila doses, but he looks great, man.
He's like you. You guys de-age. What's the secret, Ty Mack? What's the secret? But how cool is that? But speaking of keeping the award-winning talk going right now, yesterday I had the chance to interview Nina Bergman. Me and her hung out. Yeah, we had a blast there. Yeah, she's making me look bad with those guns.
I know.
But yeah, Assassin X won several awards as well, starring the amazing Olivia Gruner.
Yes.
Angel Town is so good. I love Angel Town.
Yes.
I love Angel Town. But yeah, congratulations winning all these awards, man. Yes. How was it working with Nina and Gruner?
Well, number one, Olivier is his best acting gig. Because the thing is, here's the thing. I'll go back to that. But with Nina, I got to tell you, literally, when she walked in, the producers already had in mind who they wanted for that role. And my DP said, "Hey, I know this girl. I've worked with her, Nina. She's great. She's everything." And I said, "Okay, we'll see her." Nina walks in for a lesser role, and all of a sudden, I just see what she did. It's like, no, actually, no, it's the reverse. She walked in for the role she did, and literally from the minute she walked in the room, she owned that room. She was so amazing. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, that's it. That's the girl. Because I wrote the script. I said, that's the girl. That's her. And the producers said, no, we have somebody else in mind. I said, but that's her. And so then they said, you like her a lot? I go, yeah, I love her. I think, professionally.
Yeah.
And, she's obviously a gorgeous woman, but very, something about her, very talented. And so then they had her come in. They go, okay, well, let's read her for another role. I said, it's a waste. I mean, this is the character. So she comes in, she reads for the other part, and she was good. But that role that she played, it was sexy, it was psycho, it was badass. It was like, my God,
she killed it.
She killed it, man. The minute she walked in the room, she had it. She had it. And working with Olivier, here's the thing about whether it's Don, Olivier, and all these guys, is that sadly, a lot of times when they're working with different directors, sure, they get the film done. The films look great. I'm not criticizing anybody's directing, number one. But what I've noticed and what I've seen is that they don't work with the actors. Just say a line, as long as we get a clear line, okay, let's move on to the next. And with Olivier, I really worked with him before each scene. I get into his head, reminding him where we're at, what's going on, who your characters, and he was just amazing. Because number one, he has a wonderful look. There's something very chiseled and strong about him, but also very deep, and same thing with Matthias. Matthias, I mean, he plays these bad guy roles, all this stuff, and he's typecast just like I'm typecast, which is strictly action. But Matthias, I worked with him on the sequel to Gunfight. I directed him in a couple of the scenes in there, and he blew me away as an actor. Forget about the action stuff. It could have been any actor, could have had a jacket on, but he just the ease of his performance was so amazing. And I told him that. I said, my God, Matthias, even though this is a small role because you've had leads in bigger films, but my God, this is your best role. I mean, one of your best scenes because it was so natural and so real.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So I think if these directors do work with these athletes turned actors, my God, you can get really a lot of
Yeah.
stuff out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Copy that. Yeah. It's really important. It's really important. Yeah. Really important.
That's why a lot of them, you see them, they have a good career, then they peter out because their performances, they and then when the genres are cyclical, so then when the kickboxing films are no longer in vogue, boom, you're
Yeah.
out. If you take yourself seriously as an actor and you do great performances, then casting directors, producers, they see you differently.
Right. Right. Yes. Well said. Well said. But boom, the Camacho experience. Look at
the,
that.
the show that should have never happened, man. You put me to shame, man. You put me to shame.
I mean, how was this experience? I mean, I seen a few episodes and a few highlights, and I was like,
Oh
this
man.
is awesome. You got to show in the world how stunt work is supposed how it's supposed to look, and teaching people and
No,
training them. And I mean, this isn't shows like this is important, man. I mean, how cool was this?
no, it was the hardest thing I've done in 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
I swear to you, because what happened is for years I met Skip Chasen, who used to be a producer at El Rey. Great guy. Big shout out to him because he was just a sweet guy. Always was in my corner, in our corner, Michael Matsuda and myself, because we both produced it. And and it was, we've been talking off and on, and we will Skip and trying to find a way, because I wanted to work with El Rey. I've always wanted since El Rey came out.
Yeah.
It's a very cliquish thing. I'm not saying El Rey, but I'm saying Hollywood in general.
Mhm.
Unless there's
Right.
clicks, you really can't get in. But Skip was always pulling for us, always are definitely going to find the right thing for us. And COVID hits. All right, COVID hits, everything shuts down. So then the El Rey needed programming. So they did a series, I think like half a dozen shows. Mine was one of them, or eventually. And and they told me, they go, we know COVID, so we might have to do podcasty style Zoom and all that stuff. We expect that. I said, no, I don't want to do that. They go, well, we understand you because we definitely want to do a martial arts type of show. I said, okay, if we do it, I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to get these guys live, and I'm going to get very physical with them, because I don't know too many hosts that'll go down there and get in the ring and spar with Benny or do stick fighting, or you won't get
Yeah.
Leno doing that. and and so they said, okay, just do your thing. And I gave them the pitch, and then that Michael and I put together, and we did the show. And I said, okay, even more after the show was shot, I hated that the opening was kind of boring. So I said, you know what? Screw that. Let's reshoot that. They go, what do you mean? I'm going to get guys, as I'm introducing the show and talking to the show to the audience. I'm going to have guys trying to beat the shit out of me. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll come up there. Hey, welcome to Art Camacho on this episode of Pop 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 Pop. Getting show. We're gonna have Don the Trader Wilson. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
But it was nerve wracking. That's why I tell you, what you do, brother, I can't do. I mean, I
Oh.
swear to God, even for my own, excuse my language, fucking name, I had a cue card. Art Camacho. and even though it was my buddies and stuff like that, so it was wonderful. But it was a fun experience. It was a fun experience, and actually, it was really at the top of El Rey for the run of until they they didn't become El Rey anymore. But they
Right.
had it on their cover sheet. They had these, they really were excited, and even talked to me after the fact. Said, "Hey, Art, if you were talks and the possibility of Ray might come back, but you're on the top of the list. Top of the list. We really like what you did, and just and I wanted to just get down and be like, for instance, with Cynthia shows me how to do a sword form, or Don teaches me about defense, or Benny teaches me certain techniques. Graciela Casillas, a knife expert, and at one point, even though they were rubber knives, she's a tough lady. So she's like, I'm getting stabbed everywhere. It's like,
Yeah.
here, go, guys, keep the camera rolling, man. More blood, better, Great.
Yeah, it looked like an awesome show. I did catch at least one or two episodes, and I saw a lot of the highlights, and it looks a blast.
Oh,
It's so good.
you know
And
what?
on, oh, go ahead.
I went kicking and screaming. I did not, because when they called me, they basically called me and Michael Matsu at the same time, and And I thought at first they wanted me to produce the show and direct it. I said, great. But then when they said we want you to host it, it's like, oh my God, I don't know the first thing about hosting. Well, how am I going to do this thing? I don't know. I was like, and Michael's the one that was talking to me, Art, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And then I had another partner come up with the name because I didn't want my name on it, didn't want my face on it. But they were like, here, you got to do it. You got to do it. And so, but we had fun. We had a lot of fun with my buddies. And
you did it the Camacho way. Yeah, that's right. That's what makes it entertaining, for sure.
But that's what I say. What you do is amazing. The ease of what you're doing it and how you're, I'm serious. A lot of respect to you, brother.
Oh, well, thank you so much, brother. I mean, I can't do what you can do. I'll try to do a sidekick now. My back will go out. It's not going to be good. But now we have arrived. That's right. It is time to talk about Ruthless. Let's get into it.
Harry's daughter was murdered 4 years ago. Some scumbag drugged her, raped her, and left her to die in a ditch.
What is he trying to do?
I think he's trying to keep that from happening to your daughter.
Thanks, Coach.
We have a legal obligation to report any suspicions of abuse. Pick your fights, Harry. I will.
Now come in.
What? It's my school coach.
Stop hitting that kid.
I think you ought to mind your own business, Coachy.
Before I leave tonight, I'm definitely breaking your right arm.
A dick.
See you at school, kiddo.
Coach Sumner, you have a minute?
What is it?
Where did you go? 10 grand for fun. As advertised, my boy. Solve all your problems.
This crew is known for trafficking girls across state lines.
I have a few questions. Where is she? Where'd you take her? You can't do this, man.
You're not a police officer. Let me do my job.
No need. I don't care if I spend the rest of my life in prison. This is a big upgrade from the sketchy places I've been to.
Been in business for a strong 10 years.
I'm gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That trailer and the movie. That's right. Hey. Ho. What? Scratches the action itch, baby. Such a phenomenal job, Art. You killed it, man. You killed it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed the film. And I wanted to tell you that earlier, but I was like, let me lead up to it here. Let's lead up. Let's add some suspense to the podcast here. So good. And Dermot Mulroney, man. I mean, he was so good in here. Jeff Fahey was so good. All the actors did such a phenomenal job in the movie. But Dermot, man, did I know you trained him for the film, but did he have a boxing or martial arts background?
Yeah, the thing about Dermot is that he had some boxing, so he had a base of boxing, so he knew how to do stuff for all the breaking and all that stuff and arm bars and all that fun stuff that we had him doing. It was just him training, and he's so dedicated, and he did like 95% of all his own stuff. Everything you see there, with the exception of the big falls and stuff like that, it's Dermot. It's amazing. And I tell you, this film I wrote probably maybe 5 years ago. And it'd been sitting around, and I came close to getting it funded, didn't go, I forgot about it. Then the perfect storm happened, and I hooked up with this one company, and they said, hey, the script I pitched to them they didn't want, but they said, do you have anything else? I said, okay, how about this? Oh yeah, let's do that one. And then it sat again. It took about a year because we were trying to find the right actor for it, trying to find the right actor that has the cachet and obviously distribution as well as perfect for the role.
Right.
And when Dermot came into the picture, that was it. Him and I had a Zoom call, and we just clicked instantly, and we just became like instant brothers. Amazing, amazing, amazing actor. He was so excited to do the role because this was his first kind of real action role where he's the lead in this kind of greedy kind of world.
Yeah.
And
you would never know this is his first action movie.
No,
You would never know that.
No,
he was so natural.
Yeah,
and you made him look great, and he worked hard.
He gave it his all. Without Dermot, there is no Ruthless, because he brought that depth of character. He really did. I give him all the credit for the movie because he just, he put his hands, his trust in me, and he calls me sensei. He's basically, he says, here, guide me. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Well, Dermot, if you're watching this, brother, you killed it. Keep doing what you're doing. And let's take a look at it again. And you can give us some little BTS behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Action we got going here. And let's have some more fun here. How long did it take to film Ruthless?
We shot it in 18 days. 18 days.
Wow.
Wow. And we were just going. And here, some of these scenes in there, he's so, the depth of Dermot is just amazing. His face tells a whole story,
Yeah.
And as well as the depth of the sensibilities when you see the and this one right here, he did something very cool, is that I'm shooting the scene and I'm looking at the emotion on his face, but then I look down at his hands, and he's doing something interesting with his hands, just rubbing them together. And it became so natural that I told my camera guy, zoom down, just give me a camera. But it's just his hands. I don't give a shit. Just catch his hands.
Yeah.
And I'm using it because you see something with his hands. It's amazing because those are little things as human beings we don't realize we do, and so many little things,
Yeah, he's so good, and it's a tragic story, with him losing his daughter, the way he did and what happened to her, and he just became a broken man, but then he finds it's very unexpected, and that's what I like stories like this, because it's for the character. It's very unexpected. I'm sure he didn't think his life was gonna go the way it went, and him in a way becoming kind of a surrogate father to to his student, one of his, because he's a wrestling coach, one of the female students. So
and what we wanted to draw on is that do you have a family? Do you have kids?
No, I do not.
I have kids, and I can't even imagine if anything was to happen to them, how it would mess me up, And that's what I was drawing. He was drawing upon a lot. He's a family man too, so he's drawing upon that, because what would you do? Why, all of a sudden you're helpless. You as the father, you as the man,
yeah,
you weren't there to save your kid.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't have kids, and I don't even want to experience that.
No, I'm telling you,
it's terrible. Yeah.
It is. Once as a parent, years ago, I literally rushed home. I got a call from the school. Somebody did something to your daughter. I left meetings in Hollywood. I'm going 100 miles an hour on the freeway. I jumped the fence into the school, ran into the classroom. Literally, I got lucky that I didn't get arrested, because I went into the classroom and I said, "Who's the guy that did it?" And it was this big kid right there. It was a male. And he goes, "Well, I'm going to tell my father." "Well, bring your fucking father. Get your fucking uncle. I don't give a shit. You bring him now and beat the shit out of all of you." And, he just had to calm down.
Yeah. Hey, that's your child,
Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it. I don't have kids, and I still get it. But yeah, this it's very frightening and tragic. But
with a lot of the driving, we didn't use any green screen. We were just out there on the highway,
Yeah, this actor, this actor right here, he looks so familiar.
Nico, he's done a lot of films recently. In the last 3 or 4 years, he had 4 years released. He's a great guy. He just was one of the stars of the film I just wrapped up, called Director, and with Tyrese and Harvey Keitel. Good actor, good presence too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I saw the poster to that, and I'm like, I got to see that.
That's kick-ass too.
Yeah. But I love the tagline. See, it's just when you introduce the villains, you know, and just the scumbag villains. You want to see them get their, you know, comeuppance. And
Right.
you're rooting for the protagonist here, you know,
Right.
even if you don't, you know, some people won't agree, you know, with what he's doing because, you know, hey, let the law handle it, right?
Right.
But you, as an audience, and you know, and you're watching something for entertainment purposes, you want to see him kick the shit and
Right.
just destroy, you know, these guys. It's so satisfying, and a lot of action movies recently. Um, yeah, so there's been some great action movies recently, but there's a lot of them that are just not satisfying. They don't give you that satisfaction where you're like, yeah. And I definitely I was enjoying his character completely dismantling limbs and bones. So it's so good.
And he did. He enjoyed it so much. He would add an extra break. It's like, let me do one more. Okay, cool.
What I loved about his character was he just didn't give a fuck. Like he just didn't care. Like he's just like, you know, I'm gonna break your left arm if you
Right.
don't tell me what I want to know. And he's just so calm about it.
Yeah.
I love the opening sequence in the movie theater with the guy
Oh
who was
gosh.
being a douchebag in the movie theater, and then he tried to jump him with a knife outside of the theater, and he had to teach him a lesson. You know, he had to teach him a
And
lesson.
the thing about that one is that again, he's not Charles Bronson. He didn't want to fight. No, I just want to go eat my popcorn. You
Yeah,
know.
I'm just trying to go home. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But he had to teach him a lesson. But oh man, her father,
Oh.
that actor, like, did such a good job being like the biggest douchebag. Yeah, this is a compliment, sir. This is a
Yes,
compliment.
Mauricio.
Yeah.
Healing kid, man. This guy, and I've seen some of his other stuff. He's number one. He's a good actor, but this role, it had that, you know, the kind of twisted humor to it. You know.
It did. Dark humor. I guess this movie does have dark humor. Yeah,
Yeah.
at points,
And
especially with
this
his
guy was
character.
amazing. He really, really, really did an amazing job.
Oh, this was so funny. He just told he told the daughter, "Hey, go up the store, get something to eat, get some wings, and make sure you get some ibuprofen and some Tylenol." And then she ends up coming back, and he gives it to the dad after he broke his arm. Oh my god, it was so funny.
Yeah, it's some of my favorite stuff with these two. You know. And then right there again, he throws him down. At one point, one of these takes, I swear to God, I literally thought that he broke his arm.
Oh, really?
It was, and I'm in the room, I'm looking on the monitor in the room. All of a sudden, I see it, and he just throws him down. He does something with his arm, and the way the guy twisted the arm, it was a combination of them two working it out. But I swear to you, I really thought, oh my God, he broke his arm.
Oh man, so good, so good. You know, I can watch movies like this all day. You know, with this type of genre and subject matter. You know,
Right.
but it's the establishing of great villains that you love to hate.
Mhm.
You know, and I talked about this with director Brandon Slagle when I had
Mhm.
him on the show. I think a couple like last week, earlier this week actually. Man,
Right.
I've been busy earlier this week, and how important it is to have a memorable villain or a
Yeah.
memorable group of villains.
Mhm.
Because again, I bring this up all the time. How many action movies have you seen, Art, where the action in it's good, but you don't remember the villain?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because and then you're not vested. You're not vested in it as a viewer. You're not vested in it. You're thinking, okay, this is cool, but no, I'm with you
Yeah.
1,000%, man.
Yeah. But yeah, he unintentionally becomes a surrogate father to the
Yeah.
to the his student,
Yeah.
wrestling student, and she gets kidnapped, and that's it. I'm not going to spoil it anymore because I want people to go out and watch the movie. But look at the acting from Dermot, man, so good,
And he did. I tell you, when he
so
got
good.
the phone call, and that's in that little scene of the trailer, he gets the phone call, and
Yeah.
basically they're telling him your daughter's, your daughter's in the hospital, she's dying, and it was just such an emotional moment when you're seeing that scene play out live in front of you, because he was in tears. He literally, at one point, he was losing it. He was losing it. He was so into that scene. It was wow.
Yeah, so
How
good.
Yeah.
The 18 days, man, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we were, and again, we didn't have any real training ahead of time because he had just wrapped another film, and we came in and we had a Zoom call, and that was it. Then I was training him on the set.
Yeah. Does Dermot now have the action movie bug?
Yeah, he wants to. As a matter of fact, we showed me a script, and I got another script that I'm developing with him right now because he really enjoyed it. He really, you know,
Nice.
and believe it or not, this one had a theatrical release in Russia before it was released here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I did a Zoom interview with a lot of theater owners over there, and they were real excited about Dermot.
How cool is that?
Yeah. And Jeff, hey, I've always wanted to work with him. I mean, we worked on with the same companies years ago, early on, but never together. And he was great.
Oh yeah, he's always great.
But you know, to work with him, you could be having a casual conversation, you and I talking, blah blah blah. Then all of a sudden they say action, and right away, bam!
He's in character. He's in character. Love it.
Oh my God, it's like amazing to see him. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and just satisfying, especially the finale was very satisfying as well. And you know, as even though we're rooting for this guy to destroy all these guys, what I really like about the movie, Art, is you kind of really don't know how it's going to end. You kind of really don't know if he's actually going to succeed. There is that feeling of, you know, this could go horrible for him at any moment, really.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's not like he's like invincible the entire movie. You know what I mean? Like you never know, because you know when you show all those training sequences with his trainer's kicking his ass. You know what I mean? So you don't really know. You know he's a badass. Like he could defend himself. He can take care of himself. He's got training, but it's not a guarantee. You know, so that's what I enjoyed about the film, because anything can happen, man. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But you know what? Look at that last scene that you showed about when you got him in that chokehold. That was the real deal. That was the real deal, man. It was this guy, Dermot was amazing. I got to tell you, man. When he gets into the action, it took very little. He was such a natural at it. I think had he trained in martial arts early on, he would have been phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So natural at that. I just showed him a couple of times, you know, how to do the chokehold, and boom, slipped into it, got him, and you know. And
that's a wrap. That's right. Yeah. Phenomenal job, everybody involved. Shout out to all the actors, Dermot. Shout out to you, sir. And hey, make sure all of you right now. That's right. Go to Amazon Prime, rent it, buy it, watch Ruthless on Amazon Prime. I mean, come on. The tagline is break bones first, ask questions later, baby. That's how we roll, man.
That's right. For all the fathers who have daughters who are dating. So make sure you
watch this movie. You'll get that satisfaction taking down the bad guys for sure. But yeah, man, it's phenomenal. I can't wait to see you work with Dermot again in the future. Hopefully that pans out and we get to see more of you guys together, man. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I loved him to death. He was amazing to work with, amazing actor, as you can tell. And gosh, I'm again kid in a candy store for me to work with Dermot and just some of these other actors that I worked with. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Well, chat's liking what they saw, man. 10 out of 10. There you go.
Thank
10
you.
10 out of 10, 4 stars. Thumbs up. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, brother, thank you so much. Master Art Camacho. Iron Neck. Camacho. That's right, baby. Thank you so much. It was a huge honor to have you here on the channel, brother. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll meet each other in person at Dragon Fest this year. And because I missed last year's, so I want to go this year for sure. If you're gonna be there, maybe I'll keep in touch, man. I'll hit you up on Instagram and all that.
Keep in touch. And again, kudos to you and for the amazing job that you are doing. And I've been in your shoes. That's why I know I'm not just bullshitting. I'm telling you, brother, you make it seem so easy, so natural, and you're so so wonderful to talk to. Really, seriously. On a very professional level, I mean it, because I was there. I was nervous. I didn't know what the hell. And I'm trying to read 2 cards. And it's like, what?
Oh, well, that means a lot coming from you. It really does, sir. And we appreciate what you do. We will continue to support the legend. That's right. The Camacho effect. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. We will be there. And this is your second home, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Second home. Come on back anytime. And yeah, don't go anywhere, Art. But all you badasses watching, make sure, again, to watch Ruthless on Amazon Prime. Hit the link in the description box below. It'll link you to get Art's book. That's right. And you can follow Art on Instagram down there as well. Continue to follow him on his filmmaking journey. Yes. And if you enjoyed yourself, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. And before we leave and wrap it up today, Art, is there anything you'd like to say to your followers and fans?
You know, at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, you know, nothing is impossible. We can all live our dreams. And I'm proof of that, because I'm not the most talented or the most gifted or the best looking or the best anything. But I do have a lot of passion, and I do have a lot of faith. And the biggest thing, Ted Neely from Jesus Christ Superstar, the actor who portrayed it on the movie, then all these revival plays, I met with him once, and he plays Jesus. And we had this big conversation. And the one thing he said to me at the end of the day was, live the dream. And that stuck to me. So I tell you, and I tell everybody, live the dream. Whatever that dream is, live the dream. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yes. And Samurai Guy's living the dream right now. All right. I'm living the dream right now, hanging out with Art. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Let's do it.